I mean, I made 300 shilling a month as an apprentice, and 100 shilling I had to give my parents so I could get the food.
The internet is a powerful machine. It can make superstars overnight and dig up secrets buried for decades. In Hollywood, where image is everything, few stories are as explosive as a hidden child. For years, whispers and rumors have swirled around one of the biggest stars on the planet, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You might have heard the story about a secret daughter, a hidden child who has an uncanny resemblance to the Terminator himself. It's a juicy piece of gossip, a story of betrayal and family secrets that feels like it was ripped straight from a movie script. But what if that story, the one floating around the dark corners of the web, is just a cover for something even more shocking? What if the truth isn't about a secret daughter at all? Tonight, we're pulling apart the story you think you know. We're going to expose the real narrative, a tale of a double life, a marriage torn apart, and a secret so big it redefined a global icon's legacy. Because the truth behind the headlines isn't about a hidden daughter. It's about a secret son, and he is, without a doubt, the spitting image of his father. In 1997, two babies were born in California, just 5 days apart. They shared the same father, a man who was a global icon, a titan of Hollywood, and a future governor. Only one of these kids was known to the world. The other was a secret, an explosive truth that would stay buried for 14 years. For over a decade, Arnold Schwarzenegger kept this secret, even as the child, a boy, came to his own house, growing bigger, stronger, and with every passing year, looking more and more like him. No one said a word. Until one therapy session, one question, and one simple, three-letter answer that would make a dynasty crumble. Before the scandal, before the whispers became front-page news, the Schwarzenegger-Shriver family was the closest thing to American royalty. Arnold, the Austrian oak, had conquered bodybuilding, then Hollywood, becoming one of the most bankable action stars in history. He was the living, breathing American dream, a story of pure will and ambition that he wasn't just an actor, he was a global brand. In 1986, he married Maria Shriver, a charismatic and accomplished journalist who also happened to be a member of the legendary Kennedy family. Their marriage was more than a celebrity wedding, it was a merger of Hollywood glamour and political power. Arnold, the self-made Republican powerhouse, and Maria, the polished journalist from a Democratic dynasty, seemed like an odd couple, but together, they were a force. They built an empire and had 4 children, Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher. On the surface, they were the picture-perfect family. They were constantly photographed together, radiating success, health, and happiness. Arnold was the larger-than-life dad, and Maria was the devoted, intelligent mom. Their life looked like a carefully curated image of success, a testament to their influence in both Hollywood and Washington, D.C. This image was key to Arnold's next big move, politics. When he ran for governor of California in 2003, his family was right there beside him, a symbol of his values and stability. He played the role of family man just as convincingly as any role on the big screen, but behind the gates of their Brentwood mansion, a different story was playing out. A story of betrayal, hidden in plain sight, a secret that would one day shatter the perfect facade. While Arnold was building his political career and selling himself as a family man, he was hiding a secret that would become his greatest personal failure. The world saw a perfect family, but a storm was gathering, ready to be unleashed years later and change everything. The fuse for the explosion was lit back in 1996. At the time, Arnold Schwarzenegger was at the peak of his Hollywood power. He was filming Batman and Robin, and his wife, Maria Shriver, was pregnant with their 4th child. It was during this period, while his family was away, that Arnold started an affair with a woman who was a part of their daily lives, Mildred Patricia Baena, the family's longtime housekeeper. Mildred, who was from Guatemala, had worked for the Schwarzeneggers for almost 20 years. She was a trusted employee, a familiar face in the home who kept the household running. The affair was a massive breach of trust, and it happened inside the family home. Then the situation got even more complicated, almost unbelievably so. Both Maria Shriver and Mildred Baena became pregnant at the same time. The two women, one the lady of the house and the other her employee, were carrying children by the same man, under the same roof. The tension and secrecy must have been suffocating. On September 27, 1997, Maria gave birth to their youngest son, Christopher Schwarzenegger. Just 5 days later, on October 2, 1997, Mildred Baena gave birth to a son she named Joseph. For years, the truth stayed buried. Mildred was married at the time to a man named Rogelio Baena, and his name was on Joseph's birth certificate. She would even bring young Joseph to the Schwarzenegger home, and he was an occasional presence in the house where his biological father lived. Arnold himself has said that for the first few years, he didn't know for sure that Joseph was his son. But as the boy grew, the resemblance became undeniable. The strong jawline, the familiar smile, the physique that was starting to develop, Joseph was looking more and more like Arnold. In his 2023 Netflix docuseries, Arnold Schwarzenegger admitted that as Joseph got older, it became obvious. "In the beginning I really didn't know," he said. "But the older he got, the more it became clear to me, and it was then just really a matter of like, how do you keep this quiet?" For years, he did. He quietly started giving extra financial support to Mildred and Joseph, and in 2010, he even bought them a house in Bakersfield, California. He kept the secret through his entire time as governor of California, a period when his family life was under a microscope. The secret was a ticking time bomb, and the countdown had already started. The end of Arnold Schwarzenegger's term as governor in January 2011 was supposed to be a new chapter. He was planning a big return to Hollywood, with new Terminator projects on the table. But his personal life was about to steal the show in a way he never saw coming. The secret he'd kept for over a decade was about to blow up. It happened in a marriage counseling session with Maria Shriver. After 25 years, their marriage was strained, and they were trying to work through it. But this wasn't just any session. Maria had her suspicions for a long time and was finally ready to confront the issue that had been haunting her. In his documentary, Arnold remembered the chilling moment. The counselor turned to him and said, "I think today Maria wants to go and be very specific about something. She wants to know if you are the father of Joseph." Schwarzenegger described the feeling. "I thought my heart stopped. And then I told the truth. Yes, Maria. Joseph is my son." That one admission, "Yes, Joseph is my son," was the bombshell that shattered their world. For Maria, it was the devastating confirmation of her worst fears. The betrayal was on so many levels. It wasn't just the affair, it was that it happened with a trusted member of their household staff. It was that the child was conceived while she was pregnant with their own son. Joseph Baena was born just days after Christopher Schwarzenegger. The lie had been a part of their lives for 14 years, the fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Maria Shriver was, in her own words, crushed. She said the end of her marriage broke my heart, it broke my spirit. She later revealed she went to a convent to seek guidance, feeling terrified and lost. Soon after Arnold's confession, she moved out of their Brentwood mansion. On May 9, 2011, they publicly announced their separation. By July 1, Maria had filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce dragged on for 10 years, a sign of just how hard it is to untangle a life built on such a massive secret. Because there was no prenup, their assets had to be divided, a long process finally finalized in December 2021. Arnold has repeatedly called the affair his biggest failure. In his documentary, he expressed deep remorse for the pain he caused. "I have caused enough pain for my family, because of my up," he said. Everyone had to suffer. Maria had to suffer, the kids had to suffer, Joseph, his mother, everyone. I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life. The perfect family image was gone, replaced by the harsh reality of a family torn apart. The story of Arnold and Joseph is a complex one, full of betrayal but also, eventually, a path toward a new kind of family. What do you think? Can a relationship be rebuilt after such a deep deception? Let us know your thought in the comments below. We read every single one, and your perspective is a huge part of this conversation. While the world was reeling from the shocking headlines, a 13-year-old boy at the center of the storm was having his life turned upside down in the most public and brutal way. Joseph Baena had grown up in a pretty normal environment, raised by his mother, Mildred. But in 2011, that normalcy was shattered for good. He recounted the surreal moment to Men's Health magazine, remembering the day very vividly. I was in the 8th grade. 5th or 6th period. And I get called out of class to leave, he recalled. My mom's there, and she's like, "We gotta go, everyone is finding out about you and who your father is." In an instant, his world changed. News trucks swarmed their home, and photographers hounded the family relentlessly. For a teenager already dealing with the awkwardness of growing up, this sudden, intense media storm was a nightmare. "I'm 13, he said. Your body's transforming, your mind is transforming. And now my life transformed before my eyes." He and his mother had to flee, taking a road trip to hide out with relatives in Texas just to escape the frenzy. Finding out who his father was felt like a double-edged sword. On one hand, his grandmother sat him down and explained everything, to which he reportedly exclaimed, "Cool." But the aftermath was tough. His trust in the world was shaken. In high school, he realized people were looking at him differently. The trust factor became really difficult, he admitted, as he struggled to figure out who his real friends were. Despite the chaos, the revelation opened the door to a relationship with his father. Arnold, for his part, has always been clear that Joseph is a huge part of his life. "It was wrong what I did. But I don't want to make Joseph feel that he is not welcomed in this world, because he is very much welcomed in this world," Schwarzenegger said in his docuseries. "I love him, and he has turned out to be an extraordinary young man." The bond between father and son took time to build, but it was forged in a place that was sacred to Arnold, the gym. As Joseph's interest in fitness grew, their relationship got deeper. This shared passion would become the foundation of their connection and the most visible proof of their unique story. If there was ever any doubt about Joseph Baena's paternity, it was erased the second he stepped into a gym. The resemblance between father and son is more than just skin deep, it's in their DNA, a passion for bodybuilding that seems to run in their blood. This shared love for fitness became the bridge that connected a father and son who had spent over a decade living separate lives. Joseph has talked about how their bond really clicked over fitness. Around his 18th birthday, they started training together. Arnold gave him a copy of the Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, the Bible he co-authored, to guide his training. At first, Joseph was determined to figure it out on his own. "Even though I could call him any time, I was too proud," Baena said. "I went straight to the book. I wanted to figure it out myself." But eventually, he reached out, and their gym sessions became a regular thing. Just imagine it, a young man, nervous to train with his legendary father at the iconic Gold's Gym in Venice, the mecca of bodybuilding that Arnold himself made famous. Joseph described just watching and trying to soak it all in, the routines, the rituals, the champion's mindset. He learned how to properly grip the bar, perfect his form on curls, and go deep on squats, all from the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Soon, photos and videos of them working out together started popping up, and the world was captivated. The images were striking. Joseph, with his powerful physique and dedication, looked like a modern-day version of his dad in his pumping iron prime. They would often recreate Arnold's classic bodybuilding poses, and the side-by-side shots are just incredible. It's not just the muscles, it's the confidence, the charisma, the pure joy they both seem to find in the Iron Paradise. This connection is more than just a hobby. For Joseph, who was once a chubby kid who felt out of place, fitness became a way to build himself up, physically and mentally. For Arnold, it was a way to connect with his son on a deep level, to pass on the discipline and passion that defined his own life. Their relationship, born from a secret, found its voice and its strength in the shared language of reps, sets, and sweat. While Joseph Baena proudly carries his father's legacy in the gym, he's fiercely determined to make his own way in the world. One of the biggest statements he's made is choosing not to use the Schwarzenegger name. When asked about it, his reasoning is clear and confident. "I think the main thing is I'm trying to do things on my own and pursue my career with my will, my determination, my work ethic," he explained. He feels it's important to figure things out for himself. "I already have a last name, and I don't have a problem with my last name," he has stated simply. You can see that independent spirit in the diverse career he's building. He graduated from Pepperdine University in 2019 with a business degree, a moment his father celebrated with huge pride. But after graduation, he faced a new challenge. Arnold had supported him through college, but once he had his degree, the financial help stopped. Right when college was done, it was just like, "You go. You're on your own." Joseph recalled that he needed a job, and acting roles weren't exactly pouring in, so he took an internship at a real estate company. He found out he was good at it and is now a successful real estate agent with Aria Properties in Los Angeles, helping clients with multi-million-dollar homes, but the call of Hollywood was strong. Following in his father's footsteps, Joseph has been steadily building an acting career. He started with a shot-for-shot remake of an iconic scene from Terminator 2, which got a ton of attention. He's since been in several films, including Bully High, and has worked with big names like Morgan Freeman and Luke Hemsworth in the action movie Gunner. He even showed off his moves on season 31 of Dancing with the Stars. Juggling real estate, acting, and a serious bodybuilding schedule is a lot to handle, but Joseph tackles it with the same work ethic his father is famous for. He's creating his own unique identity, one that honors his heritage but isn't defined by it. He's not just Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, he's Joseph Baena, a multi-talented guy determined to build his own empire, one rep, one sale, and one movie role at a time. If you've been fascinated by this look into one of Hollywood's biggest secrets, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We release videos every week exploring the stories you won't find anywhere else. And if there's a story you want us to cover, let us know in the comments. The revelation of Arnold's secret son didn't just end his marriage, it sent a shockwave through the entire Schwarzenegger family, creating a complicated and often tense dynamic between Joseph and his 4 half-siblings. While Arnold has worked to build a relationship with all 5 of his children, the bond between the siblings themselves seems much more difficult. When Arnold first told his 4 children with Maria Shriver that they had a half-brother, the news was devastating. "I asked them for forgiveness," he said. "They cried. It tears your heart out." For Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher, Joseph was a living reminder of their father's betrayal and the painful end of their family. Over the years, public appearances and social media have highlighted the distance between Joseph and his half-siblings. He's often missing from family photos posted online, like a National Sibling Day picture Catherine shared in April 2025 that only included the 4 Shriver children. Sources close to the family say that the older siblings, particularly Catherine and Christina, keep their distance out of loyalty to their mother. While Joseph has been seen working out with his half-brother Patrick, who is also an actor, their public interactions are rare. The dynamic was on full display in June 2025 at the Los Angeles premiere for the 2nd season of Arnold's Netflix show, Fubar. While all 5 children attended the event to support their father, it was hardly a picture of unity. Arnold posed for red carpet photos with Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher, but Joseph was absent from those group shots. He attended the event and posed for separate pictures with his dad, a move many saw as a public snub by his siblings. Despite the chilly relationship with his Schwarzenegger siblings, Joseph remains incredibly close with his mother, Mildred Baena. He often posts heartfelt tributes to her online, calling her his best friend. Mildred has stayed out of the spotlight since the scandal, living a private life and even graduating from culinary school. It's a reminder that family, especially one born from such complicated circumstances, is an ever-evolving story, and healing isn't always a straight line. The story of Arnold Schwarzenegger's secret child is a modern Hollywood epic. It started with a whisper, a rumor of a secret daughter who looked just like him. But the truth was far more complex and, in many ways, more human. It's a story that pulled back the curtain on a seemingly perfect life to reveal a painful truth of betrayal, a fractured family, and a secret kept for 14 years, but out of that collapsed marriage, a new and unexpected story began. The story of Joseph Baena, a young man thrown into the global spotlight under the toughest circumstances imaginable. He has navigated intense media attention, a complicated family, and the enormous shadow of his iconic father with remarkable grace and grit. He made the powerful choice not to take the Schwarzenegger name, a clear sign of his mission to build his own legacy. And he's doing it, carving out successful careers in real estate and acting, all while honoring his father's physical legacy in the gym. The relationship between Arnold and Joseph, forged in scandal and strengthened by a shared love for iron, is proof that even from our biggest failures, something positive can be built. Arnold has called Joseph an extraordinary young man and made it clear that his son is loved and welcomed. Their journey has been anything but conventional, but it has led to a genuine father-son bond. The story is no longer just about the secret. It's about what came next, a story of resilience, identity, and the enduring, if complicated, ties of family.